Hey everybody, how's it going? I hope everybody's doing good this morning. I'm just going to wait and give people time to pop on to this live stream. I see some people are starting to pop in. So this morning, I was supposed to have a tarot reading appointment, and they had to reschedule. So I was all set up and ready to go. I thought I would hop on YouTube and see if any of you guys have any questions this morning that you would like to have answered. Do a little surprise live. So if you do have any questions about anything, if you want me to pull some cards for you guys, just throw your questions in the chat and we'll just start pulling some cards for you guys. How is everybody doing on this beautiful Sunday morning? Where's everybody located? I am in Arizona. I'm like as far south as you can get and still be in the US. I live in Yuma, Arizona, which is about a 10-minute drive to Los Algodones, Mexico, where there is a border. Hi, Dennis. Good morning. Hi, Zen Soul. I'm glad that this is your first time here. Welcome. Nathan is in Massachusetts. Is it really cold and snowy right now in Mass? I would assume it probably is. Ontario, Canada. Florida, Zen Soul. I used to live in Florida. I lived in Denellen, Florida. Most people have never heard of Denellen, so I say Ocala, and then they're like, oh, I know Ocala. And then for people that don't know Ocala, I say halfway between Gainesville and Orlando. Montreal, Canada. A lot of Canadians in the house. How's Canada feeling about American politics right now? What will it be like for Black people if Trump gets into office of president? That's a good one. Kentucky. Hi, Kentucky. Okay, so let's take a look here. What will it be like for people of color when if Trump gets into office? Now, one thing I do want to preface, okay, is that there's been some really weird energy, 36 degrees out, oh my gosh. There's been some really weird energy when it comes to the readings around politics. And I think the reason that the energy has been very weird is I think that there's a lot of intense emotion that's, coming from a lot of people, which I think is normal and reasonable. But I also think that there's this like weird flex because when I was reading for the election, I got that Trump was going to win the election. My first two readings, I got Trump. And then in that last final prediction, the energy shifted and I got Kamala. But then it was wrong. So I want to just preface this is if we get something weird, it could just be that the energy is just kind of all over the place. But let's look at for people of color. Oh, you know where Ocala is. Let's look for people of color in the U.S. And I want to look at Black people, brown people, immigrants, non-immigrants. Just what's it going to be like under a Trump administration? Let's see what we can get. Okay. What is this going to be like? We're going to get 3 cards. Interesting. I'm going to leave those sideways. One more card, please. Oh, okay. Okay, so let's take a look at these cards. So the first thing we have is the 9 of Cups, and the 9 of Cups came out sideways. So when they come out sideways, I like to think of it's going to probably exemplify both aspects of the card, both the upright and the reverse aspect of the card. So let's take a look and see. The Nine of Cups is often about choices, having a lot of choices, having a lot of options. If you look at this person, they're like sitting there almost kind of smug. And it's interesting because his arms are folded, like we saw Trump's arms folded at that Thanksgiving video at Mar-a-Lago. Very similar to that. Okay, so when we have this Nine of Cups energy, the Nine of Cups energy, it can be having a lot of things and being really dissatisfied. And it's also having a lot of options and a lot of choices. If it's in the reverse, it's all about dissatisfaction. It's about feeling like, when wealthy people have everything in the world they want, and so they're just kind of dissatisfied. There's nothing that quite satisfies them. I feel like that is the energy that we're pulling out of this, the Trump camp. And I don't know if it's specifically just Trump. I feel like, Potiqua, 405, yay. So I think that there is definitely, we're going to see a lot of that. Okay. So we're going to see a lot of that energy with Trump. I think we're already seeing it, kind of that they already have everything. And so we're seeing a lot of that with the recess appointments that are happening, or not recess appointments, excuse me, the cabinet picks that are being selected now. We're starting to see some of that weirdness. With the Two of Pentacles, this is talking about decisions that need to be made. This can be decisions that need to be made in finance. This can be decisions that need to be made in health. I'm seeing that there is going to have to be a lot of decisions made. So a lot of the rhetoric that we're hearing is that people are going to be mass deported. We're hearing that so there's like the mass deportations that we're hearing about, but we're also hearing some really not good rhetoric about people of color. There was also that terrible comment that was made about, black jobs. Like, what is a black job? So I think that all of these things that he wants to put out, I think that when he gets up to it, if he gets the chance to get up to it, I think that he's going to have to make choices on how he wants to discriminate against people, which is so terrible. But I think he's going to have to pick and choose. So they're going to say okay, well, if you want to implement these tariffs, then you can't get rid of the workforce. So you have to pick or choose. I feel like it's going to be like that, to where he's going to have to kind of be forced to be somewhat politically correct. But I just don't see, good behavior towards people of color in our country with this administration. And the biggest reason why I'm saying that is because with this Judgment card. So let's talk about tarot really quick. Indulge me for a minute, you guys. So the tarot cards are really interesting because they're very, very highly symbolic. And one of the things I talk about often is that the symbology is typically very religious. And there are aspects of every single religion that can be found within tarot. So what the Judgment card specifically is talking about, if you look at this card, this is about Judgment Day. I'm getting major goosebumps, you guys. When I get goosebumps, it's like stuff's coming in. So this card is specifically referring to Judgment Day. So we have the angel that's sounding the trumpet. If you're familiar with the Bible, the book of Revelations talks about the opening of the seven seals and the sounding of the trumpets. That's what this card is depicting. So when people get upset about tarot and they're like, that's like against, religion. No, it's absolutely religion. It totally is religion. And we see these people, these would be representative of the people in the Bible who have been who have passed away. And then when the revelations happens and the trumpet sounds, that people come up out of their, graves, or the spirits all come together. And it's this idea of what sort of happens in the rapture. Okay. So that's what the Judgment card is showing. If anybody is interested in a reading, I'm going to interrupt really quick. There's two ways we can do it. Number one, you can join my member group thing. I don't know what it's called, membership. And it's 99 cents a month. And you can join that. And then I do live readings just like this, where you can throw your questions in the chat and we can answer them. And that's a really affordable way to do it for people who don't have the funds, especially at Christmas time, for a reading. If you're interested in a reading, you can book those over on my website. My website is bobbyreads.com, and you can book it there. So there's two options for you to help, whichever way you want to go. Okay, so back to what we're looking at. So to answer this question, I feel like is there's going to be judgment for whatever bad behavior is exhibited. So do I think it's going to be tough for people of color in America if Trump takes office? I think there will be increased rhetoric where it could potentially be a more hostile situation, but I do think that there's going to be consequences for that kind of behavior as well. So I hope that answered your question about that. Okay, so let's look at what other questions we have here. Okay. Oh, Dennis, VA and Social Security. Let's look at that. Let's look at the VA benefits and Social Security benefits. I think that's really important. So what I want to do is this, because it's like I said, it's all really weird energy, and I don't necessarily know that things are going to go down the way that we think that they're going to go down. So I think that there could be some weird stuff happening. I mean, yes, Trump is the president who won, so it looks like. And sorry, I'm going to move to the bottom of my comments here. So we're looking at right now, if everything stays status quo, we're looking at a Trump inauguration in January. However, there's a lot of really weird stuff going on. And so I don't know if something's going to happen that's going to prevent Trump from going into office. I did do a reading on my channel. You can go check it out on will Trump be inaugurated. And it was weird. I didn't get like a real definitive yes. But I didn't get a definitive no either. And with JD Vance, it came pretty strong that yes, JD Vance would potentially be inaugurated. But that was when I read the energy at that time. The star card. This is a wish fulfilled. So I don't know. My gut is telling me that with what has happened with Musk, I feel like there was involvement. And I am wondering if something is going to happen because we're seeing all of these weird nominations for the cabinet. And a lot of these are like Russian assets or alleged suspected Russian assets. Tulsi Gabbard has been suspected of being a Russian asset. Kash Patel for the FBI. Do you guys understand how frightening that is? First of all, the FBI. When the director of the FBI, that's a 10-year appointment. So it doesn't change. That's not like where it changes every administration. That is every 10 years, regardless of who's in office. Because the FBI, after Watergate, Nixon, all of that, it was meant to be kind of a separate check and balance on the government. Well, when Trump was in office last time, he fired Comey and he put in, who is in there right now? Why am I forgetting his name? I forget who's in, Christopher Wray. So Christopher Wray is in there. That Trump put him in there. Christopher Wray hasn't been in for 10 years, but then he announced that he was going to put in Kash Patel. Okay, so first of all, Trump's doing things that there's no precedent for this. He should not be doing this. But Kash Patel he was part of the January 6th insurrection. He pushes conspiracy theories. He's an election denier, and he has publicly stated that he believes he's completely loyal to Trump over country, and he is willing to do that retribution that Trump was talking about. The whole reason he put Kash Patel in for the FBI, director of the FBI, is to get that retribution. It's really scary, you guys. So with that being said, I don't know if someone's going to step in, if there's an adult in the room that's going to step in, I don't know. But we're going to look at VA benefits and Social Security benefits after inauguration. Okay. So whatever's going to happen will have happened at that point, and we'll see the energy of it at that point. So let's look at benefits for the VA and benefits for Social Security. I want to do 3 cards, please. We have the Queen of Wands. We have the Queen of Wands. That's strength. Oh, look at these women, you guys. We have the 9 of Pentacles. The 9 of Pentacles is, it's abundance, it's success, it's material success. So it's money coming in, it's comfort. But what's really interesting to me is that we're getting all of this female energy. This isn't looking like Trump, running programs. This is very interesting. It looks good. Let's do one more card here. This is interesting, you guys. I just keep getting this feminine energy. Okay, one more card, please. We're going to take these. Okay. So the moon is, there's things that we don't see coming. There's stuff that's hidden, stuff that's under the surface, and we're not privy to it right now. And I very much feel like this has to do with what's going to happen with the administration, who's actually going to be in office after the inauguration. With this 4 of Pentacles is like really, really holding on to something. It's like grasping something. It's not wanting to let go. It can also be someone who's a penny pincher, someone who's really tight with money, someone who's like a miser. We have this Ace of Swords coming through. Ace of Swords is a new offer. It has to do with communication. There's a new message that's going to come in. Oh, there's a card hiding. It's the Queen of Pentacles, you guys. Okay, 8 of Pentacles is, when it's reversed, more work has to be done. More work has to be done. We're headed in the right direction, but there's still more that has to be done. This can be feeling trapped. This can be feeling stuck. But then we have this Queen of Pentacles. I don't know what's going to happen with VA and Social Security, but what I can tell you is this. I would not worry. I would not be stressed, which is really easy for me to say because I'm not in the position where I need to rely on that. So I definitely, I'm not saying this. I understand the gravity of this, okay, for people that rely on these benefits. But I would tell you right now, do not worry. Focus all of your energy on raising your vibration and believing that your benefits that you need are going to be there for you and that you can rely on them, and just have that mindset, because there are things happening that we're not seeing, that we're not privy to. And I think that a whole lot is going to change between now and inauguration. We have so much feminine energy in this little spread. It's crazy. Even the moon is divine feminine. This Queen of Pentacles is a queen that comes in. She is very stable. She's very rational. She's very grounded. This talks about security. It talks about abundance. So I feel like people will be okay. And part of me is just wondering what's going to go down with this Trump administration, because I don't know. It doesn't look to me, I'm not seeing anything that says things are going to be rough financially based on Trump's policies. There's nothing here that says that. If anything, it's like, stay focused, keep your eyes on the prize. There's communication coming in. There's new ideas coming in. And this is just all about communication and message coming in. People are holding on. They're holding on. But I really feel like we have this Queen of Pentacles energy, and we're going to find out something, and it's going to flip everything. I definitely feel that. Okay, let's look at the economy. I saw some people asking questions about the economy. So let's look at the economy. Let's see what we can see for the economy. Let's look at the economy for the month of December. What are we looking at economy-wise for the month of December? Now, let's remember, okay? So December, we still have Biden in office. But we do have him. He did approve the use of longer range missiles farther into Russia. So when we have a wartime scenario, that can impact the economy, okay? The other thing that we have to keep in mind is that Trump has not yet taken office, so he's not going to be able to implement anything in the month of December that's going to impact the economy. However, I'm sorry about the echo. I need to fix. So what's happening with the echo is because it's my second camera. It's my second camera. And I've tried to turn the sound off of it, and I can't get it to turn off. If you know how to do that, that would be super helpful. Yeah, you are hearing an echo. I'm really sorry though. Okay, so we were talking about how Trump will not, he won't have any policies yet, because he won't be in office. However, he has his rhetoric on Truth Social on Twitter, where he's saying all kinds of stuff. He's making comments about how, I'm going to move this over a little bit and see if that helps with the echo. See if I move my speaker over a little bit. But with his comments about Mexico and closing the borders and his tariffs, there are things that he can do that can still very much impact the economy. So let's look at economy for the month of December. I did see your Taiwan question. I want to ask the Taiwan part of it in a different way. So we'll address that in just a second. But economy for December. There's that Queen of Pentacles again. 3 of Pentacles, cooperation. 9 of Wands, reversed. Okay. So that Queen of Pentacles, again, I mean, that's that really stable queen coming in. It's solid. I feel like this is very much what's going on with the Biden administration. I don't know how active Biden is. Honestly, I think it's a lot more. This is my personal opinion, by the way. I'm not reading this in the cards. This is just my opinion. I think Kamala is a lot more active behind the scenes than we realize. And I think a lot more of what's been going on has actually been her policy. So I think what we're seeing is the beginning of the month. We're still seeing what's carrying on from the Biden administration, but with a heavy emphasis on Kamala. We're seeing this 3 of Pentacles. And remember, Pentacles are about our money. Pentacles are either our money or our wealth. And if you need help remembering that, just think of a pentacle as like a big coin, and then it'll help you remember that it's money or health. Okay. So we're seeing this 3 of Pentacles. This is cooperation. This is people working together. I feel like behind the scenes, people are going to be working together to try to stabilize the economy. We've seen it when Trump made that post about the tariffs. There was another guy, and I don't remember his name, but he's a billionaire, and he posted right after that and said, Trump's not saying he's going to implement these tariffs. He's saying that if these things don't stop, he'll use it as a tool. That's not what he said. I mean, it is kind of what he said, but so there's people behind trying to clean up the mess. Okay. That's kind of where I'm going with that. So there are very much people behind the scenes that are trying to stabilize things so that it doesn't get out of hand. But where I have a little bit of concern is with this 9 of Wands reversed. So this can be boundary issues. It can be having to defend yourself. Boundary issues and having to defend yourself. A battle. I do think it's going to end up being a battle this month to try to fight off, Trump's mouth, really. But I do think December, we're still going to be okay. Now, let's look at Taiwan, because Taiwan... Yeah, Carol, I had a Twitter account. I never used it, but I had it I don't know, probably for a million years. And I went in and canceled it just because I just didn't want Musk having access to any of my information, quite frankly. I'm sure he has access to it anyway. But okay, so for those of you who aren't following Taiwan, or if, because this is something where you kind of have to dig into it a little bit. So why is Taiwan so important? Taiwan is really, really important for a couple of reasons. Number one, the majority, if not like all of the chips that we use in the majority of our electronics are made in they come from Taiwan. Now, Biden implemented the CHIPS Act, and where that's so beneficial. And I wish that they would have done more, like actually explaining to the public like what these things do. So the CHIPS Act basically means that they're in the beginning processes of developing the technology to produce those chips that they make specifically in Taiwan here in the US. But it's going to take time because there's technology, there's machines, there's a lot that goes into it. So it's not like they can just set up a factory and start doing it. It's going to take some time. So that's why Taiwan is really, really important. Now, for those of you who don't know, China has wanted to take Taiwan forever. China has very much wanted to take over Taiwan. Taiwan is its own nation, country, whatever. I don't know if would they be a sovereign nation? I don't know. Anyway, so China is finding itself lining up with Putin and Russia. So Putin has now just waltzed right into Ukraine, okay? And China's watching this. And I know that a lot of Americans do not want to get involved in another war, especially the war between Russia and Ukraine. It's very dangerous, it's scary, and there's Zelensky can be problematic as well. But this is why it's imperative that we support Ukraine. Because if we show Putin if we show Xi Jinping that we will allow other nations, such as Russia, to go into other sovereign nations and take land, and we're not going to do anything, well, then Xi Jinping is going to completely go into Taiwan. So that's why it's important to stand up for Ukraine, okay? So that's why I know it's not great, but that's why it's so important. So let's look at Taiwan and see. I want to look at, how do I want to word this? I want to see the energy of Taiwan over the next 6 months. Let's see what is going to happen with Taiwan. Next 6 months, Taiwan. We're going to start with 3 cards, but we may need to pull more. Oh, I don't want to see that. Communication coming in fast. Oh, a heavy burden. I don't know, you guys. I'm kind of worried about Taiwan now. So the devil is about manipulation. It's about taking advantage of things. It's about working things to your benefit. There's a lot of really, really, really bad negative energy that I'm feeling coming out of this. And I'm almost feeling like this is talking about partnerships too, like perhaps Russia being tied to China for these nefarious purposes. 8 of Wands is information coming in really, really fast. We have 2 Wand cards. Wands are about action. They're about change happening. And there's a really, really heavy burden that's going to be carried. Let's get one more card. Let's get one more card. Okay, this is really interesting, you guys. So the Magician. The Magician is the ultimate alchemist. The Magician has all of the tools they need. So the Magician has the pentacles, the cups, the wands, the swords. The Magician is pointing up and pointing down. And this is that kind of nod to as above, so below, right? So everything has this like duality. There's positive, negative, good, bad, light, dark, all of that. So this card is talking about that duality that happens. So what I'm almost wondering is, like, if Trump does get inaugurated and take office, I don't see it going well. But this card is giving me this, like, feeling of keep hope alive, because things can change in a minute and there's magic, and we don't know what's going to happen. If this does happen, I can say, again, this is going back to that when I was talking about, like, the VA and Social Security benefits. It talks about, like, keep that faith, because we don't know what is going to happen from moment to moment. People have free will and things can change. We can see something like I said, with my first two predictions for the election, it was Trump winning. But then that third one was just, it was weird. It was that Kamala energy. So there's this shifting energy, and this is just telling me, if things go the way that they're going with Trump, this is what we're going to see. It's not going to be good. However, I don't know if it's going to get there. So Carol has asked, who do we see being the next president? Let's ask. We keep asking this question. Okay, so I'm going to preface this as well. Okay, you guys, here's the thing with tarot. If you ask the same question over and over and over again, you're kind of defeating the purpose. And then you're going to get perhaps different answers or different interpretations, and it's going to be a mess. Okay. So that's why I try not to ask that question too much. But did you guys just see what card just flew out? The Empress. That's divine feminine. So here's what I want to ask. I want to ask, is something going to happen that will let's see, how do I want to word this? I want to word this like, is someone besides Trump going to be inaugurated? Okay, so will someone other than Trump be inaugurated? Let's do that. Will someone other than Trump be inaugurated as the next president of the United States? Three cards. I don't know. What's giving me pause is this Six of Cups. Six of Cups, I've said it with my Pulp Tarot deck that I use a lot. I love it for political readings. I love that deck because the imagery, I always say it's like the MAGA card, right? It's like the Six of Cups talks about remembering the past with the fondness. It's this idea of nostalgia. Why do I correlate that with MAGA? MAGA is all like, make America great again. It's this idea that there was this golden time in America where everything was really perfect. The reality is that wasn't a thing. There was never a golden time in America where things are really perfect. We've always had, women haven't had all of their rights. People of color haven't had all of their rights. It was a really good time for like white American men. Okay. So with this card here, it's giving me right off the bat MAGA energy. So if I were to just see this, I would say, yes, Trump will be inaugurated. But let's look at it in conjunction with these other cards. The Hanged Man is really interesting. It's like hanging out, being tied up, not really being able to go anywhere. So you're kind of forced to just be where you are and make the best of it. It's a time for introspection. It's a time for thoughts. And then we have this 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles is, remember, Pentacles are our money. So the 10 of Pentacles talks about success, but it's more like a stability. This is looking at families being stable, money coming in, generational wealth. So I'm wondering if there's going to be some kind of a pause or something that slows down the inauguration. Can I get one more card to clarify the results of the inauguration, please? That's too many. Four of Swords. It's a timeout. Why are we getting 2 timeout cards? I don't think I'm going to get this reading. This is kind of going back to what I was talking about, where with that inauguration, I don't know if it's been determined yet, because I just keep getting this like time out, wait and see, being forced to wait. I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah. It's so tough. Like, I hate not being able to give you guys like really clear, definitive answers, but when I can't see it, I'm not going to force it. And I just, there's this Four of Swords is about a forced timeout, being forced to wait. Okay, so let's look at this Jack Smith situation. JFK is not dead. So if you guys can see behind me, there's obviously a lot of books. So I have 2 tarot channels, or not 2 tarot channels. I have 2 YouTube channels. I have Bobby Reads and Bobby Reads Tarot. You guys are on Bobby Reads Tarot. Bobby Reads is where it's kind of all over the place, but I do like weird travel. Like I went to the what's that hotel in Los Angeles? The let's see, what is that? The hotel. Oh my gosh, why can't I think of it? The one where the Cecil Hotel. So I like went there. I went to a bunch of I went to Roswell, New Mexico. So I have like fun videos on that. And then I have weird history videos. So I read, oh my gosh, you guys, like I study history and religion. And that's why I'm always like talking about religion and stuff, because I find it so fascinating. I mean, you can look back there. There's a Torah, there's a Quran, there's Bibles, there's all kinds of stuff over there. But if you're interested in JFK, because I saw the JFK comment, if you're interested in learning about JFK, there is an amazing book back there. I think you can see it's the red one on the end right there. It's called Chaos. And it was written by this guy. I cannot remember his name now, but it took him like 20 something years to write it. And he actually started off researching the Manson murders, but then it ended up he followed the rabbit down the rabbit hole, and it like tied into the CIA and JFK. And it's really, really good. And he cites all of his sources. So if you're like me, like if I read something, I want to know where they're getting their information. I want to be able to validate it. I want to be able to fact check it. I want to read it and make sure that they're not like skewing it. And that book is really good because it cites all of their sources, all of the documents, everything. And it's a really, really good book. So let's look at Jack Smith. Okay, you guys. What the heck? You know, they've had 4 years. Merrick Garland is just not my friend. You know, Jack Smith did the best he could. I wish that they could have done it faster. But what is going to happen? Let me see the question here. Let's see how it was. Okay, so the question was, what will the fallout be after Jack Smith releases his investigative report, and when will it be released? Okay. Okay, Jack Smith investigative report. Oh, do you guys want to look into Pete Hegseth after this? That's crazy. His mom wrote a terrible email and it got leaked. Okay, Jack Smith. Jack Smith. Jack Smith. You know what? Let's do a full spread on this one. Ace of Wands. Being offered a new idea. This is a new idea. This is action. This is change. It's being blocked by the Star reversed. The Star reversed. Interesting. Interesting. So this is going to be, what's going to be blocking this release, this information, what's coming out is this information that's like pessimistic, negative. It's that rhetoric that this isn't true, trying to discredit what's coming out. Three of Wands reversed. Okay. So Three of Wands reversed. This is talking about a lack of long-term vision. So there definitely was a lack of long-term vision when it came to their timing and with the issues like I actually just mentioned with Merrick Garland. And with everything taking so much time, I think that there was like a lack of foresight. I think that they should have planned on Trump taking everything to the Supreme Court. They should have planned for that time because that immunity decision, the Supreme Court ate up so much time and they did it on purpose. So this was just, Jack Smith had just an absolute lack of foresight. Oh, I don't think it's gonna, I don't know if it's gonna come out, you guys. I don't know if it's gonna have much of an impact because this Eight of Cups is just like walking away, abandoning it. I mean, this is very much like it being abandoned. Very, very much it being abandoned. Let's look at final outcome. Knight of Cups reversed. I don't think so. This is like an offer not coming through, an offer of emotions not coming through. I think, oh, sorry, you guys can't see that. I think it's about people wanting this, knight, this is representative of Jack Smith. They're wanting this knight to come in with this cup and like offer this thing that's going to make us all feel better. It's going to like heal our emotions. It's going to be that justification, that validation, that vindication. I don't think it's going to happen. I think that it's just going to go away, which is really unfortunate. But I feel like it's going to go away. Yeah, it's really tough, you guys. It's a tough time that we're living in. And that's why I say, okay, this is a really, really good time for me to like interject like some positivity here, some Bobby lessons. So this is actually like a really, really good time to talk about how we choose to react to what we're seeing in our lives. We choose the power that we give like other people. So we can either retain the power for ourselves or we can give our power up to other people. So that's what I'm always talking about. Like when we do things like this, when we do tarot readings where we're looking at things that are maybe a little, that can be really emotional, or when we like, if I don't know if you guys are like me, I would assume you probably are because you're on my channel, but like I will go on Adam Mockler or Luke Beasley or Midas Touch Network or David Pakman or Brian Tyler Cohen or like any of those people. And I watch the news, the Bulwark. I love the Bulwark. But I will watch that stuff and then I will walk away from it with a major pit in my stomach. And it's very, very important that you consume just as much, if not more, positive material, positive information as you do the scary stuff, because we control our lives. What we see on the outside is a reflection of what we're feeling on the inside. So if we can focus on loving not only other people, but also loving ourselves, we can create a pretty big shift. And what made me think about this is like this comment where it talks about, meanwhile, homeless go to jail here. And that's true. And what we need to do is we need to be the ones to bridge the gap. No one's going to do it for us. There's no organization that's going to step up and like fix the US. It's not going to happen. So what we need to do is we need to really work on increasing our vibration and loving our neighbors and loving one another just as much as we possibly can, because that's where the change comes from. Isn't it that Gandhi quote? It's like so overquoted, but it's be the change you wish to see in the world. And I think that that's really, really important. I'm being blocked. I see Carol Pack. Whoa, you're being blocked. I don't know what that means. But anyway, I just want to say that it's really important that we are the change that we want to see in the world. If we don't like what we're seeing people in office do, then we need to mobilize. We need to call, we need to write letters, we need to get involved. We need to look out for our neighbors. And we need to remember that even though someone may have voted for someone who we don't agree with, or who is different from us, we still need to do our best to love those people, because that's what changes things. And what the universe wants is to, well, not even the universe, but like what Earth wants us to do is it wants us to divide, and it wants us to fight with one another, because then it wins. Then it's divide and conquer. And then everyone's got that anger, and, it's like that evilness wins. And so we have to say, no, no, like, we're not gonna, as teacher planner. Oh, okay. We have to be the ones that make the change. We have to be the ones that stand up for the little people. We have to be, it's no one else is going to do it but us. So I'm going to get off my soapbox now. Okay. So let's see what other questions we have. Oh, let's look at Pete Hegseth. So Pete Hegseth was Trump's nominee for the Secretary of Defense. Now, going back to these books that I was talking about earlier, and I actually did a review of this book on my Bobby Reed's channel. So if you want to go check it out, you can. There is a book back there. It's called Nuclear War. It's written by Annie Jacobson. It is terrifying, yet amazing and incredibly informative. It's a super fast read. It reads really, really fast. But what she does is she goes step by step. If there was a nuclear launch, she uses the example of, let's see here. She uses the example that it would be if if North Korea were to launch a nuclear weapon. Okay, it's like step by step what would actually happen. And she does not refer to actual people, like real people. She has like the dialogue. It's just like president, or she calls him POTUS. So it's like POTUS, POTUS, POTUS. And then she talks about the Secretary of Defense. It's called SecDef. So I did not know really what a Secretary of Defense did until I read that book. So that's why I'm talking about the book. I would recommend that you guys check this book out if you're interested in what the Secretary of Defense does. The Secretary of Defense is the one who is in charge of all branches of the military, but it is so much bigger than that. The Secretary of Defense is the person who, if there is a nuclear launch, they are the one who initializes the plans of the President of the United States. They are someone who, if there is a nuclear war, God forbid, but if there is a nuclear war, the SecDef gets into a plane, because there's no scenario where there's a nuclear war and it doesn't end up like a nuclear launch, where it doesn't end up in all-out nuclear war. The government, the U.S. government, ran a series of war games called Proud Prophet, where they ran every scenario: tactical nuclear weapons used by Putin, a launch from North Korea, like every option. There is not a single option, including a tactical nuclear weapon, where it does not end in all-out nuclear war. So when a nuclear war happens, the SecDef, they get into an airplane that is a completely reinforced airplane that has all of this technology, where everything, even when everything is knocked out, it can communicate with these very weird signals. They are the one person who gets in an airplane, the Secretary of Defense, and they fly around. And if they're the last person alive, they will continue to launch until everything is done. So do we want to put Pete Hegseth, a man who is a weekend Fox News host anchor, in charge of that? That's terrifying to me. Terrifying. So let's look at Pete Hegseth. So there was an email that was leaked that his mother had sent him, basically telling him that he's an abuser and that she doesn't support him and that he needs to get help. Okay, so let's see. Pete Hegseth's, I want to look at will Pete Hegseth make it through confirmation hearings and actually become our next Secretary of Defense? Oh. Oh. You know, Ten of Swords, reversed or upright, because it came out sideways, is this energy of suffering, torture, being taken out. Five of Cups is looking at everything you've lost. I'm wondering if Trump is going to, because the King of Pentacles is typically a Trump card. It's like King of Money, right? Even though Trump's not the King of Money. A lot of times this card symbolizes him. I'm wondering if he's going to ask Hegseth to resign like the other guy did. Who was the other guy? Matt Gaetz for Attorney General. Because this is like very personal. This is being attacked. This is losing something. This is having a loss. I don't think it'll be Trump himself. I think it'll be his camp that are going to take a look at this and say, absolutely, what's happening here? Okay. Sorry, guys. I had to block somebody. I think he's going to be replaced. I think he's going to be taken out. I think they're going to ask him to resign like Matt Gaetz did, or to like step aside. I think that all of this stuff that's coming out, there's no way that they're going to be able to confirm him. And I don't think that they would even attempt a recess appointment with him. He is vastly underqualified. I don't see him making it a Secretary of Defense. Let's look at Biden. So I did a reading, you guys, last night, and I haven't edited it or posted it yet, but it was a reading based on, oh my gosh, it was like Trump's relationship with Putin, but it was really looking at, is Biden going to step in and do something, or is somebody going to step in and do something? Let's take a look at that energy. Let's look and see. What I think I got my reading, if I remember correctly, last night was it looked like there was information that they had, but there was like a delay in bringing the information forward. So let's take a look at, oh my gosh. Why is this person not going away? Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get rid of that person. I'm blocking, but yeah, Roger, I agree with you. It is really disheartening. Okay. So we are going to look at, is someone going to step in and save us? Like, that's really the question. Is there an adult in the room? Is anyone going to come in and help us? Help. I think terrible thoughts, you guys. I always try to keep my vibration high and not think ill of people, but there are times when I think of Trump and I like allow my mind to wander about all the different scenarios that would be amazing if they happened. And yeah. Okay, so right now there's a feeling of we all kind of feel like we've lost a lot. This is very much that feeling of like, where did it all go? It all got knocked over. It all got spilled. It's all a mess. But there's a partnership coming in. There is a partnership coming in. Why will this tarot destroyer person not go away? Okay. Okay, so this position is the recent past. This is what we're coming out of. So what we're coming out of, the energy we're coming out of is that a decision has to be made. There was manipulation that was happening. People were blind to the truth and they were blind to manipulation. But the next card I'm going to flip is the energy that we're headed into, okay? It's the Queen of Cups, you guys. So the Queen of Cups is obviously feminine energy. This is what we're going into. It's feminine energy. The Queen of Cups is very much I don't know why that's not letting me block that person. I probably need to get moderators for when this stuff happens. I'm like so new. My channel's just kind of like grown really quickly here. So I don't really know a lot about that. But if anyone's interested in being a moderator, like leave me a message and I'll figure out how to like do all that. So back to what we're focusing on though. We're focusing on this Queen of Cups energy. The cups are relationships, it's intuition, it's feelings, right? It's this fluid, I think it is, Roger. I think it is a bot. That's why I'm not getting too worried about it. What's so funny to me is like when these people come in, these like bots or these like trolls and stuff. If I'm not mistaken, I think you get paid on every comment. So when they do that, it's like actually beneficial. So I don't know why they keep doing it, but anyway, whatever. Okay, so this is what is actively being sought. Interesting. So, what was being sought by the American people? Well, I don't want to say by the American people because I don't think it was all of the people, but I think it was enough people. And then, with the help of technology, I think this is talking about people not wanting a fresh start. They think it's a fresh start, but it's not a fresh start with Trump. It's the reverse of a fresh start. So that's what people were like going towards. But what they didn't see coming was this Knight of Cups. There's someone coming in. There's someone coming in offering something. There is someone coming in offering something. This is what they don't see coming. I wonder if someone has some information that they're bringing in that they've either brought in or that they're bringing in. But there's something coming in. An offer is coming in. The Three of Wands. This is the energy that's being put out right now. This is waiting for ships to come in. I think they're waiting for whatever's going to happen. They're waiting, but I feel like there's going to be something that's going to happen. We have this Seven of Swords. Someone's trying to steal something and get away with it, but they are not going to get away with it. Okay. I don't know if I can restart the chat to get rid of the person. should be able to block them and have them go away. What I'm wondering is if they have like multiple accounts that I'm blocking them on one and they're like logging out and logging into another one. Okay, Nathan, I'm going to figure out how to do it and then I will um okay. Someone is trying to steal and get away with it. And people know it. And there's going to be judgment. They're going to be held responsible. I cannot see the troll either. Oh, but you guys, we got the Six of Cups again for how it's going to turn out. See, this is what keeps killing me because everything looks like everything's going to be good. Everything's going to be fine. There's going to be judgment. People are going to be held accountable. But then we get this. How did you even get your comment on my screen, Tarot Destroyer? Okay. So that MAGA card, we've talked about that, you guys. We've talked about that MAGA card and how the Six of Wands is this nostalgia. Now, what this could be, but we have to be realistic and we have to we can't look at cards. We have to look at cards unbiased. Okay. I know we all have our hopes. I have my hopes too. There's things that I want to see happen. How do you keep getting your... Okay, you guys, hold on one sec. I'm going to try to go into my YouTube account. I don't know if I can because I'm doing this from a different app, but I'm going to go into my YouTube account and see if there's like some way I can block this person. So just give me one quick second here to see what I can do. Sorry, guys. I'm going to try to hurry. Okay. So I think I was able to get rid of Tarot Destroyer. Hold on, you guys. I'm sorry. There's going to be a... There. Maybe I got rid of that. Okay. Okay, so Nathan B, you're a moderator now. I don't know what that means or how you do that, but you can do that. Here we go. And now I'm back where I need to be. Hopefully Tarot Destroyer goes away now because I hid them from the channel, but I don't know why their stuff is still showing up. Okay. So let's get back focused on what we were doing here. Are they still showing up? Yeah, I even hid the user from the channel. I don't know why they're still showing up, but okay. So I'm going to focus. So with this card, going back, let's do a really quick recap, you guys, because I know we had a lot of distractions here that were happening during this. The question was, we were looking at, is there going to be something that's going to come in and basically like knock Trump um, out of the running, basically. Is someone gonna come in and save us? My question was literally, is someone gonna come in and save us? Okay, so we started off with we had this feeling of loss, right? And then we said that there was gonna be a partnership that was gonna come in. We were coming out of this past that being blind to manipulation, having to make a decision. I feel like this is kind of the Biden administration or the rest of the people trying to kind of work around this. And then the card that we had for what we're going into was this Queen of Cups. So this was that feminine, caring, empathetic energy. That's what we're headed into. We were looking at what is it that people were wanting, and I felt like this was sort of that people were not wanting something new or fresh with Kamala. I mean, I think that they did. I think that the votes actually will show that she won, but whatever. Um, but we're just going to go with like the facts as we know them. So we're going to say that Trump won, okay? So that means that people weren't wanting something new; they were wanting something old, and they got something old. But what the Trump camp is not seeing coming is that someone's going to come through, and it's interesting because we have these camps, right? These are people that are empathetic, people that are loving, people that are trying to bring something in for the good. That's why I'm very much feeling like this is someone might step in and get. Thank you, Nathan, so much. Someone might step in with some news, some information. We're talking about waiting for ships to come in, waiting for something to come in. This was someone trying to get away with something. They were trying to steal something, but they're not going to get away with it because they're going into this. Oh, you guys can't see any of these cards over here. Anyway, the judgment card is all about, like we talked about before, we did that whole deep dive earlier about the judgment card, how it's about being held accountable. It's the judgment day. It's like you have done these things and you must be held accountable. Now, we were talking about that six of, we're talking, sound check, please. Is there something wrong with the sound? Um, so we talked about this earlier about how this is very much an MAGA card. However, it does have one other reading or one other meaning, and it's like that meaning of nostalgia, looking back on how things were, having fond memories. And so I'm wondering if this is taking us back to like the energy I'm getting is like taking us back to a continuation of the Biden administration, which would be Kamala. She's not a continuation of the Biden administration. But one of the things that you have to understand with tarot too, and I say this a lot, is that the um, this is imagery, okay, and that you have to take these images and then try to kind of translate it into messages that spirit is trying to give us. And so it can be very, very hard to dial it in exactly because we're looking at symbolism. Okay. So that's why I always like to give you guys like a couple options so we can see like which way it's gonna go. So this last one is really throwing me because my gut is saying we end up with MAGA, but all of the rest of the cards are that someone is gonna step in. So we're running out of time. We're running out of time. Okay, let's see here. Let's do one more question, you guys. One more question. I can hear my kids roaming around, and they're probably like, Mom, make us breakfast. Let's see here. Okay, this is a really good question that I saw earlier that I want to address. So, this is talking about the wars in Gaza, Ukraine, Ethiopia. So, here's how I want to ask this question. How do I want to ask this? Are we moving to a place of more peace globally, or are we moving away from peace? I want to ask that. So, are we moving towards peace in regards to conflicts, or are we moving away from peace? Working hard. There's still a lot of work that has to be done, but there is work that's being done for sure. There is work that's being done, but it's like, how do we get out of this? There's a lot of work that needs to be done. What do we do? Because there's a lot of situations where there is some really bad stuff going on to people, to human beings, and there's a lot of work that needs to be done in order to improve that. Again, that 10 of wands, that's a burden, it's hard work. It's working, it's just so much to carry. And the 4 of Pentacles reversed. This is like grasping, trying to hold on to something, but losing your grip. Unfortunately, I think that things are going to get worse before they get better. I think we're gonna be looking at conflict for quite some time. I do think so. Will Trump and his cronies get any sort of karma? Karma, 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 karma. Oh, I'm gonna do a plug really quick, you guys. Always forget to do these. If you are interested in our members only lives where you get to ask questions, it's just like this, except for it's only members. So it's a nice, there's no tarot destroyer leaving comments. You can join. The link to that is, if you go into any of my other videos, if you go into the description box, there should be a link to join. It's 99 cents a month, and you get to be part of that. Okay. And also, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed and you like what you see, consider subscribing. Okay. That's enough of my commercials. So let's look at, will Trump and his crony. I want to just will Trump, let's see, how do I want to ask this? Will there be karma? Well, there will be karma. There's always karma. So that's, the answer to that is going to be yes. So how do we want to ask this question? Will there be consequences for those involved in the shenanigans? Will there be karmic consequences that we will see? Karmic consequences that we will see. Does anyone have, if you guys have any last minute questions you want to throw in really quick, go ahead and throw them in. Queen of Pentacles reversed. 4 of Wands. The Emperor. Interesting. Okay, so Queen of Pentacles reversed. This is being neglectful. This is being uncaring. Because of the actions that are happening, these neglectful, uncaring actions, there will be celebration. 4 of Wands, celebration. Families, it can be weddings, but it's really like formal celebrations, which could mean inaugurations, presidencies. We have this emperor. There is a man that's going to hold them accountable. It's not going to be Kamala. I know all of us want Kamala to get inaugurated and like to come in with a can of whoop ass and fix everybody, but I'm not getting that from this. But I am getting that they are going to be held accountable. There is an emperor who is going to hold people accountable. There is going to be cause for celebration because of their negligence, because of the things that they're doing. There is going to be, whether this is a court case or something, but there is going to be cause for celebration, and it's going going to be a man that does it. I don't know. Okay, tell me what you guys think. I have been getting so in my very first video where Biden had said that he was stepping out of the race and that he was endorsing Kamala, but nothing had happened yet. I did a reading on who I thought was going to get the nomination. And in that video, you can go back and look at it. I said that it was going to be Kamala and Gavin Newsom as VP. Kamala as president, Gavin Newsom as VP. That was going to be the ticket. Well, we got Kamala. We did not get Gavin Newsom. And what I didn't know at the time was that it's very difficult to have two people on the ticket from the same state. There has to be like one of them that would have to change their state of residence. So I think that that's what made it kind of hinky and hard. That I think that was kind of one of the reasons why Gavin Newsom wasn't included. But I could see if some, and again, this is not tarot. This is just strictly like my gut feeling. Okay, so if Trump is, let's say something happens where he's brought up on some kind of charges and he's disqualified, or he's taken out for whatever reason, then I think what would happen is if he hasn't been like, I don't think it's sworn in because he's not sworn in yet. But there's something that happens. It's like December 15th, 16th, 17th, that's different dates, but it's in there somewhere. But if that doesn't happen, then JD Vance does not automatically step in as president. And I think what they would have to do is they would have to have a new election because people are like, oh, they put Kamala in. Well, no, they wouldn't necessarily. I mean, I guess if they can prove that the election was actually stolen and she won, yes, they would put her in. But if they found something else where he was disqualified, not because of election interference, but because of something else, this is treason, right? So let's say they find no election interference, but they get him on treason, they take him out, then there would have to be a new election. And I feel like it would be Gavin Newsom. And there's been a weird part of me that has kind of wondered if we're going to end up with Gavin Newsom at the end of all of it. Um, that's a long shot. That's a lot of what ifs, and that's a lot of speculation. But if you guys want to know, just like my random gut feeling, wouldn't that be crazy if that happened? That we would come back and it would be creepy. It would be creepy, scary, accurate. If I'm calling this one right, this would be really, really weird. But yeah, I do think that Gavin Newsom is going to be, I think he's going to be one of the next people they put up for sure, the Democratic Party. But part of me is wondering if we're going to end this whole thing, this whole Trump, Biden, Kamala thing with Gavin Newsom. I don't know. All right, you guys. I think I've been talking at you long enough. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me on this random Sunday morning. I hope that you all are well, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of you guys. I think that you are phenomenal, and you guys make it possible for me to sit here and read tarot cards. So again, I'm just super, super grateful for all of you. If you ever want to know more information about me, you can go to my website, which is just bobbyreads.com. Super simple. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please consider hitting the subscribe button on your way out, as well as hitting the thumbs up button if you like this video. If you don't like it, you can leave the thumbs down button. Then I'll know. Other than that, I just want to thank you so much. I want to thank my new moderator, Nathan B, and I'm sure I'll be adding more moderators as we go by more. But I'm just so grateful for each and every one. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Be kind to one another and be kind to yourself. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye. Oh, I put a new video up today, December prediction. So if you're interested in that, you can go check it out on my channel.